Let's see.
Oh, great. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, hi, Karen. I'm so I'm so happy to see you, and I'm so glad you knew how to record this because my computer's not working.
Katie, it is always wonderful to see you. And thank you for always being the one to record and edit and post and do all of the things. So don't thank me for this. I did nothing.
Oh my God, I am so happy to do all those things. And also, now I realize I should probably free up some space on my computer because why do I have our saved recordings that I have in our like software program anyway saved on my computer? So this is a good reminder. We're all good. Anyway, happy first mini pod of two,
Yes.
or also known as we only do mini pods these days, but that's okay.
Oh my God. Because life has been lifing a lot right now.
Life is really lifing. I completely agree. And I love this. We can just like keep doing mini pods. I mean, no complaints. I'm here for it.
I love it. And I know we have a mini pod, so I will not take up too much time with this, but I just wanted to give you a quick update.
Yes,
And we
please.
did not talk about this off pod. But so, as I mentioned, I went to see Emily King last week.
Yes, with the VIPs.
VIP. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. It was at House of Blues in Chicago.
Oh my God.
There were
Wow.
only like 20 people in the VIP. And so it was like the main floor. It was like the theater at House of Blues where the show was, but it was just us and Emily King on the stage. And MLB is a bruiser and got us to the front of the line.
Hell yeah, they did. That's amazing.
And so, I mean, I stood directly in front of Emily King. Like she was on the stage, but I was like right in front of her. And she came out and she was so funny. She's like, "Hi, everyone. This is so great. It's really awkward, but also really great." Like, clearly, this is not her idea, right? Like,
It's her publicist. They're like,
right.
you're gonna kill it. It's gonna be amazing. I also love that Emily was so honest about it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And she clearly just wanted to sing to us, but they said that there was
Oh.
a Q&A. And so we got to ask questions. And my friend Andrea was with us and told her that Mimi and I are engaged. And she was, and of course, everybody's like, "Oh," and she's like, "I'm going to sing you to a song." And she
No,
did.
you're
Well,
joking. Oh
actually,
my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, Karen. Wait, holy shit. This is such a life moment. I am so excited for you. I'm not letting you speak. I'll stop talking.
no, it's
That's amazing.
I mean, it was one of those moments that I feel like, yes, I will remember it for the rest of my life. And she did not perform that song in the show. Like literally, it
Oh,
was just for us. I mean, it really,
oh my God.
yeah,
That's
it was
so
incredible.
amazing. Wow. Were
Yeah.
I mean, were you sitting, standing
Standing.
under a
There's only,
spotlight? All of it?
I mean, I feel like we were just on the floor where just the right by the stage. Yeah, it was
I
amazing.
mean, that sounds incredible. I am so glad that you had that experience. Holy
Me too.
shit. I mean, how did you feel when that was happening? Were you like levitating above your body?
Yes, yes, that's the word I've been using. Thank you for that word. I got that word from you. Yes, levitating. I was literally levitating and it was surreal, honestly, to have this person. And I said this to her, like, "You got me through the pandemic." And everyone in the crowd was like, "Yes." All 20 of us were like,
Oh,
1,000% yes. And
yes.
some people have been fans of hers a lot longer. But yeah, it was just surreal to have this person whose voice I've been listening to pretty much nonstop for 3 years, like just standing in front of us talking and shooting the shit. And somebody asked her favorite ice cream and she's talking about sweets and all these, right? It was just like, oh my God, is that happening? And then she sang to us. And I will also say there was a woman behind her who asked if she ever plans to record a longer version of this like very short interlude she has.
Oh,
She was like, "Oh, that's such a good question," from like another album, many albums ago. And she was
yeah.
like, "Oh, that's such a good question. No, it just kind of came out as an interlude." And so she starts singing it. And she asks the woman her name, and the woman tells her, and then she integrates her name into it, and the woman starts crying.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
Yeah,
Wow. What a goddess. I mean, seriously, Emily sounds incredible.
just such a good human. And it was really wonderful experience. And the tour just started, listeners. So Emily King is coming to a city near you. I highly recommend. It's a beautiful show. I've seen her 3 times now. That was the best one. The crowd was so in love with her, and she just loved Chicago and kept saying how much she loved Chicago. And you should definitely go see her. So worth it. And her opening act
Wow.
was amazing too. Joseph Solomon. Wonderful.
Unbelievable. Oh my God, that sounds incredible.
It's great.
Wow. I want to look this up. I wonder if she's
Gosh.
coming. I'm sure she's coming to Portland, but that's really, really awesome. Wow, I love that. I also wanted to touch base on something we talked about last time about what do you need, because
Mm.
I am happy to report that I have done something that I needed. So yesterday was kind of a crappy day. I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed and I wasn't feeling very good and I was like I just couldn't focus. And so instead of powering through, I decided to book myself a lunchtime massage today. And so I had an hour-long massage and it was fucking amazing. In the middle of my day, I will say I was even productive after. When I came home, I still went back to work and I felt fine. Nothing bothered me. All of this shit that had bothered me beforehand, I was like, oh no, nothing matters. I feel good. I feel like I'm glowing from the inside. So anyway, I did what I needed to do, what I really needed in that moment, and I'm proud of myself. So it was inspired by our pod.
I am proud of you too. That sounds so amazing and so empowering, and good on you.
Thank you. I didn't realize that I could. I actually even looked at the website like yesterday when I was in the car, just staring off into space, not working and being like, "Oh, I just don't feel good." I looked at the website and I was like, I could book this for 11:45 until 1-ish, I guess is because I guess it was longer than an hour, but and then I closed it and I was like, what am I doing? Like I have to work and then I like and then this other voice in my head was like, what are you doing? Other than like you should be doing the thing that helps you. Like yeah, like take care of yourself. No one else is going to take care of you. Like just book it. So I did. I booked it.
Yes.
It's great.
Ugh. I will say it reminds me of the daily calm, either yesterday or today, is the Bodhisattva. Is
Oh,
the
yes,
theme of it.
yesterday. Yes.
Yes. Right. This idea of like Bodhisattva is someone who pursues their own enlightenment in order to help the world. Like
Yes.
you are a better person in the world if you are better off.
Yes, exactly. Like it's such a beautiful concept that goes against a lot of societal programming and I love it. So, yeah, I love that. And I also love this topic. Da, 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 segue.
This is probably going to be longer than a mini pod. Okay.
Totally okay.
So, as I have said on this pod before, I am moving from Chicago to Indianapolis to be with
Yes.
MLB. And I have been struggling with moving, obviously, and leaving my friends and family, but also this idea of identifying very much as a Chicagoan and having that being a part of who I consider myself. And who am I without that? Who am I without all of these things that I feel like I have allowed to define me? And I think we say here a lot, like, who the hell am I? I mean, the pandemic has stripped us of so many of the things that we defined ourselves by, but yeah, it's just been on my mind.
Totally, totally. And I think it's just so interesting. It's like where you live becomes part of your identity for real. Like it's like, and it's also the same thing with like whatever you've been doing for a very long time becomes part of your, if it's a job, if it's a relationship, if it's a place, like it just feels like, oh, well, that's just going to be forever, of course, because that's what it feels like. And it's just when it's not, it's like, oh, wait, what? Huh? Hmm?
It shakes, yeah. I feel like, oh, realizing that like I, of course, will always be a whole ass person. And I am a whole ass person outside of being someone who lives in the city of Chicago all the time. Like I will forever be a Chicagoan because I was born here. But right, what does it mean to live somewhere else and not have that be my identity? And what does it mean to, as you're saying, have these things that change be part of how you define yourself? How do you adjust?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's so interesting because it's like, at least for me, that is somewhat jarring. Like it was jarring for me when I moved from San Francisco to Bend, where it was like, oh my gosh. I mean, and I wasn't even born and raised in San Francisco, but I was there for so long that I was like, who am I if I'm not this person that identifies as someone from San Francisco? Because even when I would introduce myself to people, everyone always asks if you're on vacation or if you're just meeting someone for the first time, like, where are you from? Da da da. It's just like a part of how you introduce yourself. And then if you say something else, it's like, I even found myself frequently, and this is a little bit embarrassing, but like introducing myself as like, oh yeah, I live in Bend, but I actually just moved from San Francisco. And by just moved, it could have been like 2.5 years ago. So because I still wanted them to associate me with SF. And it was like, what? Like, what is that? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. It's like people who wouldn't, back when like changing your cell phone number, I guess people who resisted, right, not having their New York cell phone number even after they left New York, like that kind of thing.
Yes. Totally. Totally. It's like I have a 212. I don't have a 212, but if you did and like you haven't lived there in 30 years, it's like but I used to. I still have a 415 and it's like I mean, yeah, I've been writing freelance stories for the San Francisco Chronicle recently, and I just today I
Ah.
left a message on this guy's voicemail, and his is a 415, and I was like, oh, and you can reach me at 415, and then it like this like calm washed over me as I explained my phone number. That's so weird, Karen. I had this deep satisfaction of saying like, oh yeah, this is my number, because then he would know that I used to live there. And it's like, what is that about? Like there's something deep there.
Definitely. 1,000%. And it also reminds me, I feel like we quote Glennon Doyle a lot, but that's fine. That she also has this thing, right, about not defining yourself by your relationship to other people.
Ooh, totally.
Yeah. Like, yes, you are someone's mother. Yes, you are someone's daughter. Yes, you are someone's spouse, but you are also your own person. And I think the way she says it, she's a child of God or a child of the universe, or however she frames it. And I just finished reading Untamed,
Oh.
which is another reason this is fresh on my mind. I know I finally finished it. And yeah, this idea that that women, I feel like especially, are socialized to identify by our relationships or by our jobs or by our role in the family.
Hmm. Totally. And it's like, what if we didn't? Like
Mm-hmm.
what does that even look like? Like I have this friend Elizabeth who she doesn't want to know any of those things. Like she's very intentional about it, and instead she'll ask people who she meets for the first time a new question every single year. She changes the question. So this year, I'm pretty sure it's this year, maybe it was last year, but what was the thing? Oh gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. But she basically, I think she said it must have been last year, but she was like, the question I'm asking people now when I meet them is, what is bringing you purpose like this year? Or what are you most excited about this year? Or what is your like what are you doing? How are you spending your time this year? Or what, like that kind of thing. I'm just clearly botching the shit out of that. But like it's like the idea, other than like, where are you from? What do you do?
Yes.
Do you have kids? Do you not have kids?
Mm.
I mean, let's get more inventive, people. And by people, I mean me. And you too. Seriously.
I mean, it's such a good thing to do. And it also makes me realize that I don't meet new people. I mean, I did over the weekend. I guess I didn't meet new people, but it was more like, oh, how do you know so and so?
Yes, there's so much of that.
Yes.
There's so much of how do you know so and so. And it's like, I think that it's just like because you're trying to find the common ground. I don't think there's
Yes.
anything wrong with that. Like, it's like you genuinely want to know how you know a person.
But your friend's question sparks a completely different conversation. And I think also, I would suspect, helps her find kindred spirits, like people who are super into it, who lean into it. Like Katie, you are 1,000% the kind of person who's like, ooh, I love this question. Yes, let me tell
Totally.
you.
Oh no, just keep coming. Yeah, keep them
Right,
coming.
exactly. Right. And then there are the people who, when you told them the name of our podcast, are like, oh,
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. I can name many of those people just off the top of my head, which I won't ever do. But like they're like, that's really great for you. Mm-hmm. Yes. So
it's nice today, isn't it?
yeah, let's talk about the weather and what I did for work. And so it's just like, yeah, there's that. It's so real though. Like I wonder if there's a way to just, and maybe it's just having conversations like this where it's like to just check ourselves of like,
Mm,
oh, our identity is not tied to something external. Like our identity is something inside or whatever we want it to be, like it's I don't
Yes.
know, it's more powerful. Like it's not like given to us. Like, I don't know. Like, does that make sense? Or I'm not sure if that's the right way of saying it.
I think of it in terms of like whatever you're called to. Like
Yes.
I had a conversation with someone today who was talking about how like they have like, I don't know, how old are their kids? Maybe like 11 and 14 or something like that. And they live in the suburbs in a red part of the Chicago area.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids have very expansive notions of gender. Like that these tweens and preteens and teens are identifying as non-binary, are choosing pronouns they other than the ones they were born with, right? Like
Yes.
have like and are challenging their parents on these ideas. And we were talking about gender and just this idea that like they are doing what feels right to them
That's amazing.
and what feels true for them. And I think of that in terms of how you identify in general or what defines you in general. Like what feels right to you, what feels true. And we get socialized again to just shove it down. But
Exactly. But it's like it's again with the younger generation reminding us that we can actually
yes,
think about what feels true to us. Like actually ask ourselves what feels true to us. Like I think that's a novel idea for a lot of people.
absolutely. And that yes, that young people are constantly questioning everything because everything is new to them. And
Yes.
this is one of the things they're questioning. Well, no, that doesn't sound right to me. Like
Yes.
that's not who I am.
Totally. Ugh. I mean, it's like I wonder if I just I think for some people who are maybe in the older generations, it never even occurred to them to think about what was true to them. Like that wasn't even a I don't want to say it wasn't an option because I think there are people who are of an older generation who did that. And yet like it I don't hear about it as much as the younger generation now, which is so beautiful.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, so many of them are identifying in ways that we don't even understand. That older people who are older than them don't even understand yet. I think that is absolutely true. And yeah, it's refreshing. And I feel like it's good to be challenged on some of these things that we were socialized with that other people are just like, no, I reject that. Not so much for me.
Yes, totally. I love that. Wow. This is such a good conversation, Karen. Thanks for bringing it up.
Absolutely.
I feel like we could talk for longer than a mini pod length, but here we are at time. So, but still, that was very fun. I don't even have anything else to add. Like, I wonder. I'm sure
Mm.
there's a lot more to add. I just don't have anything right now. My mind is blank.
And we have another episode to go.
We do. We do. So yeah, we should probably sign off. But it's been fun. I think you're the one who has to sign off though, because I think you're the one recording it, right?
Oh God, that's right. Okay, wait. You say the sign off and I'll just hit stop recording.
Okay, thanks everybody. We really appreciate you listening. We'll see you next week.